Let's build an application to convert any website to PDF or any URL to PDF using Node.js. Let's see demo for this, and I'm gonna copy my personal website, and that is mersentech.com, and I'm gonna paste it here and convert. And indeed, we have the PDF version of my website, and I can go ahead and download it. Alright, so guys, this is what we are going to build. But before that, I would like you to do me a favor by subscribing, comment, and share for more projects like this. With that being said, let's get back to Visual Studio Code and develop this application. Over here, I have already created a folder called website to PDF, and you can name it whatever you want. Next step is that we are going to initialize the project as npm, because we are going to use packages from npm registry. And the script goes like this: npm init -- yes, and this one will give me the default configuration. After that, let's go ahead and configure the package.json file, which is this. Over here, I'm going to use a file called server.js, and then the script, I'm going to use server, and I'm going to use NodeMon to start my server, and we are going to install it very soon as NodeMon server.js. And let's go ahead and create this file as server.js. And let's go ahead and install the required dependencies for this project. And we are going to use what is called Puppeteer. And if you go to npm, it's going to be as npm I Puppeteer. And I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it here. Next is Express for our server, and we are going to use UJS template engine, and I'm going to hit enter. The last package is going to be NodeMon to restart our server as npm I NodeMon, and I'm going to give it a flag as dev dependencies as that. Alright, so let's have the folder structure. Over here, I'm going to create one folder called public. And inside, we are going to have one subfolder called CSS. And after that, we're going to have one folder called view for our template engine. Name it as view, otherwise it will not work. For the CSS and then the HTML, I'm going to provide the template for you, and I'm going to paste inside the viewed folder as that. And this is HTML template, and then the CSS inside the CSS folder as that. And this is small CSS, likewise the HTML, and like I said that I'll provide the template for you. There is no logic inside. So next step is that let's go ahead and start to create the server and implement the logic. First of all, we need to require Express for our server, as Express is equal to required the Express package. After that, we need the Puppeteer as that. And next step is let's create instance of Express as a function call. And I'm going to create the port, which is equal to 3000, and you can use any port of your choice. Next step is that we need to set the template engine as set template engine, and we are going to use app.set, and we are going to use the UJS template engine as view engine. Then we specified the value as UJS. And next step is that we are going to pass the JSON and the URL encoded, because we are going to receive the data from the HTML. Therefore, we need to find a way to grab or to access those data. And I'm going to give it a comment as passing JSON and URL encoded. And it's going to be as app.use. Then we bring in the express.json. then the URL encoded as app.use, then express.url encoded. Then you pass in some configuration as extended to true. So this one will help us to access the data or the URL that we are going to pass in here. Next step is that we are going to serve the static assets at serve static assets. And this one includes the HTML and then the CSS. Therefore, it's going to be app.use, then express.static. Then we specify the folder that we want to serve. In this case, the public folder, because we want to serve or apply the CSS to our HTML. So let's go ahead and create the first route. Remember, this is a home route, which means /. And this home route renders this HTML page. And that is what we are going to render. So here as render the home page. And it's going to be as app.get. And then pass in the path, that is /, and then the callback function as rec response, and as that. And inside, we are going to return the template as res.render. Then pass in the HTML template that we want to render. In this case, the index.js template. So we are going to specify it here as index. And you can ignore the EJS because we have set it here as the EJS. But let's provide it as that. So with this one, if I start the server, let me clear it and run npm run server. Well, unless I start the server. So down here, I will say start the server. And it's going to be as app.listen. Then pass in the port above, then the callback function to run. As console.log, I will say server is running. All right, so let me check the terminal and let's see. Well, this port is being used, so let me change the port to 9090. And let's see, the server is running. So let's try to open in a browser. I'm going to copy this and open the new one as 9090. Well, you couldn't look up the index.js. The issue is how I name the folder. It's supposed to be views instead, but not view. Now with this one, let's see, and we have it as that. So next step is that we are going to create the route whereby we are going to pass in the URL to convert that particular website or the URL. So over here, we are going to create that route. So it's going to be as convert route. And since this one is going to receive some data, in this case, the URL, we are going to use app.post. And then the path is going to be API. And then the convert, then the callback function as that. Over here, let's have some steps. Step number one is to get the URL, and it can be found on the request body as rec.body.url. So we are going to check if there is no URL, then we are going to redirect by saying that return res.redirect. Then we are going to add ? error, and then we specify invalid URL. Then down here, we know that the user is passing in the URL. Therefore, we are going to bring in the try and catch block here. Inside the try, let's have some steps. Step number one is we are going to launch a browser instance. And it's going to be as const browser is equal to await the package, in this case the Puppeteer, and we have a method called launch. since we are using await unless we mark our callback function as async. After that, we are going to open a new page, and it's going to be as const page is equal to await the browser that we got from here. On that, we have a method called new page. The next step is that we are going to navigate to the URL as go to the URL, and we are going to use await the page that we got from here. We have a method, and that is go to. Then we pass in the URL that we want to convert. In this case, we can get it from here as URL. As a second argument is going to be object, and I'm going to pass in wait until, then the value is going to be network idle2. And next step is that we are going to generate the PDF from the URL, and it's going to be as const PDF is equal to await the page that we got. On that, we have a method called PDF. And then over here, you're going to pass in some configuration. And this is going to be a customized configuration specifying the format of the result. And for this, we are going to say that we want A4 format. And we have all these guys or all these formats. And we want A4. And then print background property, comma here and print background property. And we are going to set to true. The next step is that we are going to close the browser as await browser that we open, then we are going to close it as that. Next step is that we are going to tell Express the kind of response that we are going to get back. So here is going to be as set the response header. And it's going to be as res.content type. And we are going to specify application/PDF, and it's going to be as res.send, then the PDF that we got. And inside the catch block, we are going to return and res.redirect, then you pass in the path (error), and the error is equal to the error that we got. In this case, I'm going to specify that error generating PDF. Before we finish up, unless we configure the form, in this case the index.ujs. Let's focus on the form. The first attribute is the action. The action specifies the endpoint that we are going to hit. In this case, API/convert. And that is what we specified here as API convert. And next one is method. In this case is post method. And then inside the input field, the key property here is a name, because the name value will be available inside the request body as rec.body, and that is what we are grabbing here. And next one is a placeholder and a button, and that is all. Let's go ahead and try out, and I'm going to copy this URL and paste it here and convert. And we have the PDF version of that website. How cool it is. So in case you have some challenges, I would advise you to go through the code step by step, and I'll provide the final source code for you. So if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and share for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.